Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. And boy, do we have some ongoing stories to get to. As you know, my last video, we talked about Claire and Dale, their breakup, what Becca Kufrin and Caitlin Bristow had to say. Boy, I can't believe I have to remember all these names. What is my life? I have a business degree in marketing. Take that, Pieper. That's not a master's, though. All right, but here we have Pieper, a possible lawsuit. We'll get into this completely unsubstantiated rumor from Deux Moi. Also, is Pieper in Massachusetts with Brendan? They said they broke up. Did they not? Maybe she's suing. Maybe they're not, but there are some rumblings in the air. We'll get into all of this. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this mindless content that we provide for you here. None of this matters. In the end, we try to provide a little empathy for all, grace for all, understanding. You know, we're talking about young adults here, or not young adults, but either way, we're all idiots until we're not. We're all ignorant until we're not, and we're all trying to figure it all out. Because when I see Pieper start talking about her anxiety, I start to feel bad for Pieper. Is that because I'm getting old and it's like the dad in me? You know what I mean? But obviously, like what we watched this past season of Bachelor in Paradise, we had Pieper and Brendan kind of saying some, I would say, nefarious things caught on camera. The question is there more to the story we don't know? Does that make me an apologist for them? Absolutely not. There's not a greater fan of Natasha Parker in Bachelor Nation than me. I've wanted her to be the next Bachelorette. It was tough to watch her get strewn along by Brendan, of course. He kind of, whether it was intentional or not, you know, we'll never know. We'll never know what his true intentions are, even though he did say some of them to Pieper. Whether it was true or not, he stayed in the game long enough and stuck around with Natasha, draining the clock on her chances, waiting for Pieper to show up, and of course they were quickly kicked off the beach. And we'll get into what's going on now. Some rumors that she's actually up in Massachusetts. She was spotted, and we'll talk about if this is true, and I'll play her Instagram story, which is about to disappear. It's 23 hours old. You got to get this content out, or you're going to lose the Instagram stories. Next Friday, I will be in North Hollywood. I think that's October 15th, right? 7 p.m. show. BYOB. It's going to be a fun show if anyone wants to come out in California, SoCal. Come out next Friday, 7 p.m. Bunch of funny comics. And also, don't forget to join Dave Neal's community on Facebook. We've got that going on. There is 1,200 of you guys. Thank you so much for everyone joining. Lots of content we're talking about over there. And we're going down the list, and let's go to Pieper. Let's see what she has to say. And also, we're wondering, is she in Milford, Massachusetts right here? Let's have a listen.
Fall time. I am slowly creeping back onto Instagram. Hello. Thank you guys for the support yesterday. I'm not in the practice of talking about anxiety. I'm not in the practice of talking about like my own mental health and sharing like that vulnerable side with me. So I just want to say thank you for those that were like supportive and sent me nice messages. And I got like a really good piece of advice. Like, if you're an anxious person or you have anxiety, don't call it like my anxiety, because that's like internalizing it. Like,
interesting.
Kind of just like let it be something, but don't own it, because then you're kind of like letting it be a part of you. And I thought that was really good advice for me personally. Anyway, all of that to be said, I was working like heads down on my computer all morning, and I was like, I need to go outside. I need to like breathe fresh air. I need to like get out. So I'm going on a walk, and the fall leaves are beautiful. The weather is changing, but it's still kind of warm. Literally my favorite time of the year.
So there's Pieper.
And it was terrifying, but I did it. And my grandma was right. She said, driving is just like riding a bike. You never forget. And I didn't forget, but I feel like I might.
So, you know, we could look and see as the background of this video, you know, is this Brendan's car? Who knows? Because she lives in New York City, right? And look, I'm not trying to catch them in a lie. Hurt people hurt people. She's accused of being a bully on Matt James' season, and maybe there's a mean girl attitude within there. It comes from insecurities, guys. I'm not making excuses; these are explanations, right? Hurt people, and when that happens, sometimes it takes a catalyst, like being called out on national TV, to realize you might have problematic behavior. Now, before you comment, everyone's going to say, "Hey, she hasn't apologized to Natasha. She hasn't properly owned up. She's still sending her all these different things." Look, that all may be true. That doesn't take away from the fact that she's clearly trying to untangle this mess in one way or another, and maybe maybe it would be great if her and Natasha did a podcast together and just opened up women to women. Maybe that would be great. I'm not really sure. So we'll get into this video a little bit. Let me just rewind it just to make sure we don't lose it here. So we'll get into this video. Now, now these trees exist. Well, hold on to Maple Tree Gate. We're going to have Maple Tree Gate in a second. So hold on to that. If you haven't followed my Instagram, @DNeals, here it is, my latest creation, L'Eau de Paradis by Kenny. Of course, a boy band, comes in 6-ounce sizes. This is completely fabricated. But if you want to read the comments, Kenny laughed at it. He commented, he laughed at it. Haven't heard from you, Morais, yet. Come on, get on the bandwagon. So here's the full season growth. Now, obviously, this is from Bachelor data. When it comes to Pieper, she lost 6% of her followers. Some will accuse her of buying followers. Hard to really project. Whereas Brendan lost 26%. He lost over 100, it says he was at 327, but then I think he went up to 340. So he had, he said it says he has a full season gain of -87, but he did go up in followers and then lost those. So he lost about 100,000 followers. This is a big deal. This is obviously like you guys as the audience deciding how you feel about things. And the question is, if they were to sue Bachelor in Paradise producers, if there was things left unsaid, if they were made out to look so bad and this affects their livelihood and their income, would they have a case for defamation? Would Bachelor in Paradise have to turn over all the tapes, all the information they didn't share? Chances are, no. Chances are Bachelor in Paradise have ironclad contracts that they sign their life away. And of course, they said what they said. But I will share with you guys, let's go back to let's go to the next screen here. What has been said. So here's a subject sent to Demois. Airing dirty laundry. One half of the highly talked about Bachelor couple right now is blowing up media outlets to get their side of the story out when it's not even the truth. Even got lawyers from ABC lined up. Honey, come get your man and stop pulling a Us Weekly moment. If you know, you know. And I initially thought this was Dale and Claire. But then when it says, honey, come get your man, Claire's not going out to the media right now. We don't believe. And so when you think about what this might be, we do know Pieper has used Us Weekly as kind of their main source for getting their statements out. So here's just from yesterday, I believe, Bachelor in Paradise, Pieper James says the last month has been pretty hard mentally amid Brendan Morais' split. And then, of course, the rumors come out that they didn't actually break up. And it might be semantics. Maybe they're like, let's not be official, and they're still together. And now we're having a word game. Are you on a break? Are we official? Are we pivoting? Pivot! Just random quotes there. So then, and as a response to this credible source, we have two versions of this story. Then we have this. I have a credible source who is a former Bachelor contestant who can confirm that Pieper and Brendan only unfollowed one another for show. They're still together and hanging out, posting about it to close friends. Now, of course, having a credible source, but anything Demois is not credible. Okay. So let's just take this with a grain of salt. It's not credible. They know it. We know it. Anybody could have posted this. Whoever sent this it hasn't been vetted, all that jazz. So then underneath here we have, my friend saw Pieper in a nail salon in Milford, Mass. last weekend, which is where Brandon lives. So now we start to ask questions. Okay. Milford, Mass. in the fall. Looks a little something like this. Now this is late foliage. No, listen, I'm from Rhode Island. I know foliage, okay? So this is late foliage. But if we go back to Pieper's stories, this is early October. It's global warming. The trees are changing later in the season. This is early foliage. So we're looking at some trees here. I did some Googling work because you know me. They say the devil works hard and Dave Neal works harder. That's what they say, not me. Milford's most common tree is the maple. I know a little bit about a maple tree. There were 5 varieties of seedlings giving away Saturday. So we have American larch, red maple, Japanese maple, flowering dogwood, and eastern redbud. Now, if you asked me, it was this eastern redbud or flowering dogwood or Asian maple or I don't know what this is. But it's pretty close to these other maple trees seen in Milford, Massachusetts at 1 Chestnut Street. What if you lived on Chestnut Street? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, there is a good chance that she's visiting Brendan right now. And if that's the case, you would think that they are still together and that they are strategizing a plan here. Just have an undergraduate degree. They are strategizing a plan possibly, and I'm all here for it. Now listen, if there's more to the story,
can't handle the truth.
We want the truth. Now, don't get me wrong. They said what they said. What happened, happened. Like someone said, you can't green screen your mouth, whatever. Brilliant, right? that all happened. But what else could have happened that would make them interested in suing? Now, of course, let's go back here. Honey, come get your man and stop pulling an Us Weekly moment. I know one man you could get if you want, and he goes by the name of Power Attorney Brian Friedman. Of course, Brian Friedman represented Chris Harrison and a bunch of people. He represented Cassie Randolph in her case that was settled out of court with, at the time, closeted ex-boyfriend who was stalking and harassing her and placing tracking devices in the trunk of her car. Oh, the good old days. Early 2021. You know what I mean? Actually, well, it was 2020 in the fall. Anyway, Brian Friedman is an attorney that works with entertainment law. It would be so nice if there was, let me just make some conditional statements here, because I am taking a giant leap. I'm taking a leap. If there is something that makes Pieper and Brendan think that they've got a reason to sue Bachelor in Paradise producers, I'm interested in this. I want to know more about this story. There are, you could say that their livelihood has been taken away because of the edit. I'm not saying it's not their fault, but I'm saying if Bachelor withheld other information that would have made us not unfollow them, are the Bachelor producers possibly at fault, liable for their loss of livelihood because of their edit? Now, it used to be, all right, sign on the dotted line, you're on the real world, what you say or you do can and will be used against you. Yeah, sure. But now we live in a world where they really are spinning what they do on the show into a career. And anyway, these are just questions we ask. Now, Pieper, I was surprised to find this out yesterday, posted this photo where she's actually, now wait for it to load. I've got Spectrum Internet. It goes a little slow here. It's actually the processing power. I'm getting a new laptop. Don't worry, it's coming in. I'm just waiting for the new MacBook Pro to come out. Oh boy, I can't wait. Boy, I could walk to the website faster. I could literally walk to Milford, Mass before this thing will load. Point is, she had a home shopping network, HSN. She's an HSN influencer. Now, of course, it's hard to get good engagement when you're only letting certain people comment, but I don't hate this. Now, look, audience members, I've said this all along. You can hate Pieper all you want. You can hate Brendan all you want. Social media is kind of like a new frontier where people that you've never met can just comment on your things, or you can just not let them. And that's kind of a fun place to live, isn't it? Now, I let anybody comment on my YouTube channel. Don't get me wrong. I've got, you can't just swear and say crazy things. Usually that gets blocked by the YouTube algorithm. There's a thing in there, but sometimes I'll go into the spam folder and see what you guys really think of me. And yikes! No, you guys are for the most part really nice. Point is that is it an echo chamber to only let certain people comment? Sure, maybe, but at the same time, if this is her job, shooting an advertisement and putting, she's got, what is this? She's got the thing, but you got to get a longer extension right here first. I understand you're setting it up for the shot. It looks cute. By the way, is this in Milford? Where the hell? This doesn't look like Milford, right? This looks like it might have been shot a while ago, but some have wondered whose dog this is. I'm sure you guys in the comment section will tell me. The point being is that I personally have decided that I'm going to try to see all sides of stories, that I'm going to try to have empathy for people, even the villains, and that's just where I stand. You can do whatever you want with your pitchfork. You can shine it all up. You can light your tiki torch and you can go join the mob, or you could just rightfully say, I'm not going to support them, and then you go off in the distance. Now, obviously 100,000 people decided not to support Brendan. By all means, vote with your dollar. Support. If you don't like the policies that Chick-fil-A CEO has made regarding who he funds or whatever, don't eat at Chick-fil-A. Boom. Done. Hard stop. I totally respect voting with your dollar. Now, I'm surprised that she's got a job, actually, after Brendan was fired from his job at Nordic Track. Whether he was fired or not, he was let go in a statement. They said, we're not going to work with him in the future. They backpedaled on whatever contract he had. Now, as far as Pieper goes, just a few weeks ago, she said singularity in this post, and she said, I'm done with Brendan. And maybe that was the case. Maybe they tried to separate, but maybe they actually really like each other. Maybe they're trying to figure out how to get out of this mess that they full-heartedly created. You like that full-heartedly reference? Oh boy, callbacks to a Tuesday joke. Anyway, we'll have to see how it all plays out. I, for one, have been accused of just hanging out on the fence, not picking a side. But I don't understand why the bandwidth has to be you're either on Team Pieper. It's like, was a brand, you're either for Angelina Jolie or Jennifer. No. How about we just adults who understand that Pieper and Brendan really wronged Natasha. Maybe it was more Brendan's fault than Pieper. We'll never really know how we can properly place blame. At the same time, Natasha did nothing wrong. Ton of grace for her. Wishing her the best. So glad she got this Instagram following she so deserves. But also, was the juice worth the squeeze for what went down with Pieper and Brendan? Again, we'll have to see how it all plays out. Oh boy. But if they do sue, then they've got the Luke P model where they saw that Luke P talked about... Luke P talked about The Bachelor on 3 different podcasts and was sued for $20,000 on each one. Plus, I think, or maybe it was 5. Either way, it came out to $120,000. Now, if you ask me, if I'm Brendan or Pieper, and again, not to sound redundant here, but if I'm Brendan and Pieper and there is a legitimate lawsuit to be had, I think it's worth your time and money to sue the big dogs. Sue them. Tell us what you want to have aired out. What's the worst that can happen? You're going to lose more followers? Anyway, maybe that's the case. We'll have to see. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. Let me know what you think about this. I think it's a fascinating story. We're going to keep on following it. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye now.